How's it going, everyone? It is I, PC, and this is episode 3 of the Crow's Nest podcast with our special guest, Luucarii, who is a well-regarded voice actress and a Xenoblade fanatic. And that's what this episode is all about, is Xenoblade Chronicles and the characters, which they go into a full, in-depth analysis on all the characters as we approach Xenoblade Chronicles 3 release, which has already been released by the time this comes out. So hopefully you all are enjoying the game as well as we are. And by the way, there will be spoilers, so if you don't want anything spoiled for you, then I suggest you do not listen to this podcast. But nevertheless, I just wanted to let you guys know that I unfortunately am not featured in this episode, and that is due to the fact that on that day I was called in to work, so I unfortunately couldn't make it, and I told Wynn to go on ahead without me. So I would personally like to thank Wynn, Luucarii, and Wayne for doing this episode, and also please forgive Wynn's shitty mic quality here. For some reason his OBS just fucked up on him, but it's all good. Everything is all fine and hunky-dory, so hopefully you guys enjoy this episode, and please be sure to follow them on their social medias, which I will have linked in the description. Anyways, enjoy this episode of the Crow's Nest podcast.
Well, good afternoon, everyone. We have a little bit of a fuck fest, considering the fact that that pirate is currently out and about. He got called in, so I'm taking over as a bit of a host for today's special episode of the Crow's Nest podcast. And you probably know already from Twitter and some of the announcements that we had, we have a few extra members here today, besides, Pirate leaving and Just Infinity taking a little hiatus on his bit of his works. But for our two new special guests, would you two want to introduce yourselves? Do you want to go? Do you want to go first? Who wants to go first?
You can go first.
Wayne can go first.
One thing you probably know me. I'm Wynn. I'm the co-host of the co-host, and obviously of the Crow's Nest podcast. I'm also the owner of the Everybody Boys group. We do a lot of film stuff, chaotic shit. That's just me in general, really.
Well, for me, I'm Wayne Hendrix. Well, maybe Wayne Hendrix, maybe Ryuzaki. I don't even know anymore. Like, my Twitter is Awaken Ryuzaki for some reason. My YouTube channel is Shibuya Productions, which I carry over my VODs and whatnot. Me and Wynn have been friends since 2019 and 2018. Like, Yu-Gi-Oh! Basically brought us together. Then later, Xenoblade, our love for Ayaka, and our love for Ryuko memes.
Yes. The Ryuko memes are the best.
Not as good as Final Fantasy VIII memes, but we'll get to that. We'll do a little comparison at some other time. But that's all you need to know about me.
Well, since we do have another special guest on here for the Xenoblade episode, we have the best.
Hi, hello. My name is Ariana Rosario. I also go by Luucarii online. I am a voice actress, general Xenoblade nerd. I cried at Xenoblade 3's announcement. That's that and my Mithra impression are what I'm most known for in the Xenoblade community.
No, it's fucking crazy. I love your impression so fucking much, man. It's so good.
Oh my god. The Mithra impression, love it to pieces, but it was just such it came out of such a whim, I think, because I had gotten into Xenoblade 2 before I had started, before I had started voice acting, and after I started voice acting, it never occurred to me hey, maybe you could try more Xenoblade 2 stuff, because I used to fan-dub Poppy, because I really loved Poppy at the time, even though she's nowhere near my range. But fucking Digi posted one of Mithra's memes, the fucking, God, it slips my mind right now, but just, I was like, Digi, let me dub it, and then I was like, oh wait, I can kind of do Mithra, hold on, this is a new revelation, and everything was history from there.
Wasn't there a meme of you doing the fucking It's like, I'm so sorry for my big fat tits.
Oh yeah, I did that one too. I'm so sorry for my big fucking tits.
That was the first meme that I've seen that made me laugh my fucking ass off, because my friend sent it to me the other day. Like, it was a few years ago. This was at the time where like I didn't go into acting. I was hoping to go into something else entirely. So at the time, like, oh wait, this what the fuck is this? And I look at it, and I'm so sorry for my big fat tits. I'm like, holy shit. It was fucking crazy as hell, but if anything, this episode is all about Xenoblade and us fucking Xenoblade fans being complete idiots. But yeah.
We're ready to be gushing about 3 dropping next week.
Yeah, 3 dropping next week, definitely. That is something that I'm excited for, definitely, considering the fact that I've been waiting on some few other things coming in the mail to hopefully review this fucking game, actually, which I ordered a bunch of Xenoblade stuff.
My body and my wallet is ready.
Yeah.
Yep.
Rest in pepperoni.
Buying that expansion pass the second that I get the physical copy. I'm so ready.
Yeah, the expansion pass looks absolutely fantastic. If there was any DLC that was so great to the point, it would be the expansion pass. Like, Xenoblade 2's expansion pass, that's fucking great. But damn, man, they're releasing it like super fucking early too, so that's even better, because you could just easily just buy it and just wait out the contents to release out. But typically with DLC like that, I would wait like a few months, so I would make sure that all the content with that DLC is in it, just so I don't get screwed over. Because me buying the first wave of Smash, that's a bit of a yikes. But hopefully with Xenoblade, we get something good from it.
If it's anything like 2's expansion pass, I think $30 is honestly a fucking crime that they're giving that out for, given everything we got from 2's expansion, and that was going for the same price.
Yeah.
Like all the side quests, like the items that they gave you, the core crystals, the fucking
DLC blades,
the ether crystals, the blades. Yeah, no, the fucking blades, and then Torna, all for $30. That's like a fucking crime. They should not have done that.
That's a fucking steal. You
should not have done that.
You just walk in, just like, hey man, I want to buy the expansion pass. And you're like, all right. Here we go. I take the fucking meme of the dude just like, God damn, what is that? And just the credit card just smashing the table. That'll be me, definitely. That's for fucking sure. But yeah, I think the worst thing about the Xenoblade 3 is us fucking suffering 2 weeks ago.
Oh god, oh my god, I never want to, I would never wish that upon my worst enemy. Like, that was absolute mind-numbing, just the worst experience of my life. And, I'm not even, a collector, right? I think, for a little bit of context, Win and I met properly, quote-unquote, through the space I was having, what was it, June 30th?
It was, June 30th.
Yeah, it was
5 days after, 6 days after my birthday.
Yeah. Oh, right. Yeah, so we were all chilling in a space, waiting for the special edition pre-orders to go live. And just, I think I had mentioned it in the space, but, me personally, at least in terms of Xenoblade, I do have, the art books for both DE and 2, but I got them secondhand. From friends. So when 3 was coming out, I'm like, all right, now I have to buy this for myself. I'm not getting this shit secondhand, and the steelbook looks too sexy to not even bother buying it. So I've never gone through the supposed struggles, I guess. I don't know if this is a common thing with special editions where any other game. I'm assuming not. But just the absolute hell of the Nintendo shop, just breaking down, maintenance on the first run around, the fact that they just didn't tell us when the second round was going live, so everybody was just sitting there refreshing, waiting for the thing to pop up, and just absolute mind-numbing chaos.
It was terrible.
The memes were hilarious.
The memes were great though. Yeah, the memes with pre-orders like that shit. Typically, like they would always do it through third-party retail. Typically, because they are confirmed to know that they're gonna ship it out to everyone, and they know that they're gonna ship it out to everybody and make sure everything is smooth and courteous. But the problem is that the supply chain for those types of pre-orders, it's messed up because they swapped the dates of Xenoblade 3 and Splatoon. So typically they were very afraid of people losing their pre-orders typically. So that's why they had to do it through the Nintendo website than just through typical retail typically. Because if you don't know the story, I had a friend of mine who ordered special edition for the Xenoblade DE, all right? I ordered it alongside him. We went to like a GameStop and we ordered it through that. And during that time, there was a really big issue going on that I'm not going to describe, that caused a lot of damage, and he lost his special edition. Apparently, someone had taken it and tossed it to the side because it was closed and it was wrapped in like a tight spider wrap. If you don't know what spider wrap is, it's like it's one of those devices where they tie it on. It's really hard to get it off. You have to like get like a fucking bolt cutter and just rip that shit off. So they tossed it to the side because they couldn't really get the tape off, obviously, which was just terrible. And it was my friend's pre-order too. So what I did was I had control over the order because I bought it for him and he paid me back. So what I did was I went into town and I found it just sitting there in a trash bin, and I picked it up and I'm just like, oh my god. There is no way this is my friend's copy. And I picked it up and I sent him a photo, and I'm like, I found your special edition. Never in my life I would ever do that again. Do not do what I did, but holy shit. That was beautiful. And it was like 2:30 in the afternoon when I found it, which is crazy. But I'm pretty sure Nintendo didn't want people to lose their pre-orders typically, or their special editions typically. But thank God I found it, because otherwise, man, it would have been a clusterfuck. But yeah, that's the reason why they kind of moved it from retails to the Nintendo shop, because they just didn't want people to lose their pre-orders typically. They want to make sure sense. They want to make sure they want to make everyone happy. So
yeah, of course, like 100% makes sense. My personal gripe with the whole thing, and like, I don't know, maybe this sounds privileged of me to say, but like, I really would have hoped that I really would have appreciated them be at least more, open with us as consumers. Like, at least tell us like, hey, our shop's like not working right now, or like, if they were going to, and they did, and if they were going to redo the, like, selling the special edition, like, they just said, hey, we're going live on June 30th, did not specify a time. And then it was a completely different time from when they did it, like, at the beginning of June. So, like, everybody's, like, scrambling. It's already a mess. Their servers couldn't handle shit for the website. And it's just, like, you couldn't have, like, I get it. Nintendo schedules their tweets. PR is important. I understand. They do their little thingy, whatever. But, like, the fact that you couldn't get, like, an intern to just be like, hey, guys, we realize our store is fucking blowing up right now. We are working on the matter. We would appreciate your patience. Like, some sort of indication that they knew that they had fucked up. I think, like, again, maybe it sounds privileged of me as a consumer to say, but, like, communication is something I think we should value as consumers. And the fact that they just didn't even bother to address the situation, even after the fact, like, people managed to get the special edition, which is good. At the end of the day, the people who got it, congratulations. Like, you guys went through hell, you deserved it. But, like, no message, no communication about anything. Like, hey, we realized we fucked up. We will try to avoid this in the future, or like anything. I don't know. That's just how I feel about it. I'm happy because I got I was able to get it, and I know a lot of my friends were able to get it.
I got it too.
So I mean, like, like, it worked out in the end, yeah, but like, it could have been handled so much better.
It just could have been handled a lot better. Typically, that honestly, execution was just honestly terrible.
Messy. Fucking messy.
Breath of the Wild 2.
I mean, it really depends, really.
As if it was Breath of the Wild 2 or the next Mario game or Kirby. I mean, if that same thing happened with Xenoblade 3 happens to their special edition, then I think
My theory, I don't think they'd ever let that shit happen with like Zelda or Kirby or Mario. They'd never in a million years let that shit happen.
That they let it happen.
In my
to
humble
Xenoblade.
opinion. In my humble, I'm not saying Nintendo has a vendetta against Xenoblade, but my theory, and this is completely coming out of my ass because I don't know anything about like behind the scenes work. My theory was that they needed Monolith Soft to come back to, finish Breath of the Wild 2, and like Xenoblade 3 was already pretty much done by the time they announced it. So they were like, okay, let's just wrap up production on 3. Shift the dates so that the game can come out sooner, and then Monolith can go back to working on Breath of the Wild 2, and then everything will be happy, everything will be great, and then they just weren't anticipating that. That's my personal theory. I don't know if that's true at all. Don't quote me on it, but it makes me feel a little better because it makes my brain think like, oh, there's some coherency in like anything that Nintendo does.
I mean, yeah, honestly. If there was anything that I would say that came out of this in particular is by far the memes and the fucking saltiness of some people.
Yes.
Yeah, the memes are great. My favorite meme is there's a really good meme of Mithra, and I set this to you, just like, please let me get my special editions, and then Mithra is just like, then perish. It's the random shitty furry roleplay, and it's just Obama just sitting in the corner.
Unperish.
Please help me, Mr. Obama, I'm drowning. Then perish.
she blows something up in a wide radius.
Oh my fucking god. I think we should probably switch our focus from the special edition with Xenoblade 2, because I know you messaged me about talking about Mithra's character a little bit.
Oh, my baby. I love her to pieces. I could talk about her for hours. She drives me absolutely insane in the best way possible. Mithra. Mithra. So, at least I'll start off the conversation at the very least as the self-proclaimed Mithra simp. I think Mithra's whole thing, I really like how I've heard from so many of my friends who have been playing 2 recently, like, getting the games out of the way before 3 drops, and they've all been talking about how, like, oh yeah, like, Mithra's cool, I guess, but like, I feel more inclined towards Pyra, and I'm like, yeah, no, I feel like that's entirely intentional. I think the way that 2 stories, at least first time around, like, you're intended to kind of like Pyra a little bit more than Mithra. I liked Mithra because she gets to bully everybody, and she's a snarky little bitch, and I fucking love her. And then I'm like, and I'll tell friends, I'm just like, yeah, no, I think, that's part of the point. Like, you're supposed to kind of lean towards Pyra and sympathize with her a lot more. And then Torna is what's supposed to open you up to Mithra's character and then change the trajectory of how you see Mithra in 2.
Yeah,
it's
great.
It's such a unique way of, like, oh my God, I can go on and on, but like Torna as a whole, Torna fucking breaks me. But I think Torna's storytelling, especially as a prequel, where like you kind of have to, you're going into this knowing how it ends and how things are supposed to like lead into, the base game. So I think with that knowledge of like, okay, well, in the end, Alice is supposed to eat, Mithra's supposed to be sealed away, Pyra's supposed to be established, she's going to be, in the ship. Jin goes off and, joins not country Torna, and
Torna.
then things not country Torna, and then things gradually over 500 years drift into 2's story, but I think that Torna has just so much freedom, despite the fact that it is a prequel and it still has to follow specific like continuity beats that really allow Mithra's character to flesh out, and just she hurts. She hurts in a good way.
I love Mithra a lot. I love her character in Torna. When I played Torna, I loved it. It was Great fucking game. Great Pico, by the way. I watched Kay's video on Mithra's character, and what really surprises me about about Torna in particular is that it kind of has a little bit of the same message, like a little bit of like the same atmosphere as like with another game that I kind of compare this to. A lot of my favorite characters come from like those tougher characters that get fucking bullied to oblivion. I love those types of characters. I love them to death. Like Banjo from Kamen Rider Build is a great example. Another character would be Nero from Devil May Cry 5. He gets called a fucking dead weight like in like 2 scenes and he gets triggered. And so like
literally.
But for Mithra, she gets called a simpleton, and it's like great fucking insult. But damn, man, you don't need to turn her to Pyra. Jesus, man, Jesus Christ. It's just like Pyra is everything that Mithra is considered not to be in terms of her character. Obviously, Pyra's sweet. She's motherly. She's kind. She's soft spoken. She can cook.
Knows how to cook.
I was gonna say that. But with Mithra, she's hot-tempered, she's sarcastic, she's smug as fuck.
She's a little insensitive sometimes.
Yeah. And she can't cook. Which, goddamn, man. Can't cook? Kind of gives me a lot of Noelle and Death Diner vibes, honestly. It gets fucking censored. You just have to censor the food. It looks so bad to the point where you just can't even look at it.
Oh my god, I fucking love that scene.
That scene's just too great.
Oh my god. But yeah, no, Mithra's like, I don't know, man. I haven't seen it, but like, it really would bother me, like seeing somebody who could play 2 Torna and then replay 2 with the knowledge of Torna and still say that like Mithra's a bad character. Cause like I get it. Like the whole like sarcastic bitchy type, like it's not gonna vibe with everybody. You know, not everybody likes, you know, crass assholes. Like we get it. We get that part. But like as a character and just narratively how she's written and how just her influence like, you know, affects the story monumentally. Like it would really bother me to hear somebody just, you know, sit there and call Mithra, hell, Pyra even, just bad characters. And like it's just, there's so much depth in them that unfortunately, if you're not already like engrossed in the whole like Xenoblade lore, if you're not already down to sit there for like 200, 300 plus hours, you know, playing a game, replaying it again because, you know, foreshadowing and like the little things that you don't notice on your first playthrough, like, yeah, it's hard to really kind of get a grasp on a character that is so woven within both narratives that like you kind of need to replay the game multiple times in order to really like see all the little nitty gritty. And I think that's where, like, you know, people, I haven't seen them, but, like, people who, like, diss Pyra and Mithra's character, or hell, like, most characters in 2, honestly, like, they diss their character without having seen the full picture. And that's the really upsetting part.
Or even the game in general, really.
Yeah, no.
Like, people bash the game without even giving the game a chance of playing it, right?
And I could just say this in particular, Xenoblade 2 gotten some really bad voice direction. Just in general, really, because with them pushing out the game super early, it's just that they didn't have that much time to emphasize on that in particular. And obviously, if you haven't seen Sky's streams, again, she specifically stated that during the pervert scene where Rex is sleeping with Mithra, she was visibly uncomfortable with voicing those lines, and so that's that's why a lot of typically the voice acting in general, typically the voice actor is super fucking uncomfortable. Sometimes they would need to practice that or warm up typically. There's just, it really depends really in general. I've seen some stuff with like in the voice acting community in general that there was some stuff that got cut out of some bloopers or even voice acting in general because the voice actor was just super fucking uncomfortable. And I think that kind of ties in with some of the stuff from Xenoblade 2, but most of the time it's that really, and besides, with the English translation of Xenoblade 2 is super fucking tame compared to the original translation, which Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that is super sexualized in the Japanese variation of the game.
Lots of things are sexualized in Japanese versions of games.
Honestly,
Yu-Gi-Oh cards included. Have you seen Dark Magician Girl?
DMG, yeah, great example of that crap.
I think in well, I'll try to input a little bit of my knowledge of voiceover. At least 2's dub is very interesting because 2 in general is a very shonen like inspired like game. Like the narrative and just how it's executed and its animations and its tropes are very heavily shonen anime, gripped from. And you can see it, just hell from fucking Rex's performance, or just his animation style, and just everything about 2 is very shonen. Comparatively to 1, where 1 I personally feel like it has a little bit of a Western touch to it. Like, yeah, there's the tropes, but for the most part, 1 feels a little more Western compared to 2. 2 definitely feels at home with, your standard shonen anime. And especially when it comes to dubbing, because we still don't know what studio dubbed 2, which really pisses me off. But if you're not already familiar with, like, anime tropes and just, the typical shit that happens in anime, it's really hard to kind of put yourself into the mindset of like, yeah, we're going to have a boob joke here, or like, we're going to have, that awkward scene where the guy and girl are like sleeping next to each other, and, the pervert scene. Like, if you're not already used to that kind of stuff, whether it's from watching anime already or, voicing an anime or, voicing in anime video games, like, yeah, it's going to be uncomfortable. Yeah, it's going to be different. And especially given that there's just a lot of shonen in the performances, specifically in the Japanese dub, that is very hard to emulate if you're not already used to, the high level screams, which is why Rex's scream gets a lot of flack, because, I can only imagine that Al Weaver, because he's mostly known for his on-camera work, I imagine, probably hasn't watched anime, or at least like engaged in that media to a point where, he could replicate a shonen scream, quote unquote. So like, it really does come down to, these actors were kind of just thrown into a situation where they might not have been prepared for it, might not have been ready for it, or had no real like background as to how quote unquote shonen things should sound shonen, which, also contributes to 2's questionable dub. I think it grows on people. It's grown on me with time. I think the more grounded and down-to-earth scenes where things aren't as chaotic and aren't as crazy, I think are where the VAs really shine the most.
Yeah, and I can agree with that. Al did some really great work in a few other shows that are not well known. He did a recent game, like I think a few years ago, I believe. And he was one of the stars. I can't remember. I think it was a choose your own adventure game. Like when you have to make decisions, obviously, and the butterfly effect and all that. But that particular game he excelled really good at, because he has some really good voice performance in that game. So it's kind of really up to voice direction and localization that causes these problems, because with localization and voice dubbing they're completely different things. It's they would write the script, the voice actors, where they would say it, they would obviously read it and then perform that sucker typically either in how many takes it really would need in order to make that performance work well with that scene in particular. So it's really up to the localization team and the people that are making the game or bringing the localizations to the West. That is something that is really important typically, and that's why with some games in particular they don't do that, because the chain and how it's kind of like a big domino effect, kind of one thing goes to another, and one tiny mistake can cause a real big outcry in particular. Which with some games that happens typically. It's either through the company or through someone else, or obviously that is something else really. But Al Weaver does a really great job with some of the lower end scenes. I think one of my personal favorite scenes is when Pirate is taken from Rex specifically, I think by Jin and
Doll inside of the throne. My favorite fucking cutscene. Yes.
Nia just fucking slaps him
Oh my
out
god.
of oblivion.
It's such a good scene. Like, it's, oh my god. It really just goes to show, like, when the energy calms down and when things aren't as, grave, like shonen standard grave, like the Pyra screams, like when all that is said and done and we get down to like the nitty gritty, especially in regards to like Rex's character and how he develops from that point, from that cutscene onward, like you really do see a change in Al's performance as Rex. There's definitely rough spots. Yes, obviously that's going to come with a rush direction schedule. It's going to come with rush localization, whatever. It's going to happen. But I think like after that scene, his performance definitely kind of solidifies in itself, because I feel like, that's like a little more than the halfway point of 2. And, you really get to, you kind of have gotten used to all the crazy antics at the beginning, and now things are kind of starting to get serious. And it's like, all right, well, now I can fully invest myself into this character. I've been with him for the past however long it took the beginning half of 2 to be recorded. And now it's like, things are getting serious, he's getting serious, it's time for me to get serious. And then I think that really does translate to like the end game. I think that final scream against Malos, without a doubt, has been his best performance in the game as a whole.
Yeah, that's the best. I think that was great. It was yeah, no, it was powerful. It was a very, very powerful scream. I think, given everything that we had seen up until that point, my own personal special shout-outs to Nia in the fucking like nightmare dream shit that the architect was pulling. Yeah.
That one scene where Nia's fighting Rex, I still have to replay that scene sometimes because her VA just popped off. She really popped off, and it was so good. It
kind of hurt me a little bit when I faced against Nia. Like, I really don't want to hurt her, but damn,
it's so good. Oh my god.
My personal favorite scene has to be with when Nia slaps Rex and Morag scolding him. Obviously, I think my favorite scene has to be Poppy. God, Poppy feels so fucking human in that one scene that it just, oh my god, it breaks my heart, man. Damn. It makes you just want to fall in love with a character so fucking hard, man. Like, holy shit.
It just puts everything into perspective.
Man, if there is any other like robotic character that I love to death the most, it has to be Poppy. Like any other robotic character, like I would typically see in like anime or video games in general, for example, like I guess from Persona 3 or some of the other robot characters that I would typically see, they didn't really have that emotion typically. But when I just look at Poppy, it's just like, dude, this is how you fucking do it, man. This is how you give me that fucking energy. And it's one of the best time that I've ever played with Xenoblade 2, because at that time when I was playing Xenoblade 2, I was in a very dark point, so when I first played it, man, oh my fucking god, man, it was great. It was fucking good.
That scene at the end where Numa's across the bridge and Rex is begging Poppy to just take him over to her, and she has this just terrified look in her eyes. She's like, I can't do it. Like, I promised I can't do it. And just, that shit breaks me. Every fucking time it breaks me.
I almost cried during that scene.
It was tense. It was a really good scene. Endgame of 2 in general is just very good.
It's fucking depressing, man. It will make you.
What makes
depressed.
it so good.
Like with Xenoblade 1, like it focuses on a lot of like the crazy stuff and a little bit of the more like hard hitting. But with Xenoblade 2, it's just those moments where it really hits you. It's kind of like with like it's kind of like that acceptance of character in particular, which is why I really like Xenoblade 2's ending a lot. With there's another game I like to compare it to sometimes, but if you haven't played this video game, it's called Dead Space 2. So obviously it's a sequel to Dead Space 1. Isaac Clarke, obviously, is still struggling with the ending of his girlfriend's death, obviously, because obviously with Dead Space 1, she died on on a ship. So Isaac's going through this cycle of just fucking this immense fucking pain while trying to survive, and at the end he actually accepts her death, and it's the craziest shit. Like those moments where characters let go of certain things, it just hits harder. It just hits harder sometimes because you just need to let go at some point.
I can say the same thing for myself. Like I was playing through Star Ocean until the end of time, like not too long ago. I got to the point where it was like the twist for the game, if you really care about the spoilers for it. But the game's been out since 2004. It was like the characters in Star Ocean until the end of time reached this area called 4D space, and then they realized that they were just characters in a simulation played by the people of 4D space, which is considered to be one of the greatest twists in any JRPG. Like, as soon as I saw that, I was like, man, it's like that puts a lot into perspective after all my gameplay decisions and having my favorite characters get killed in battle, and then necessary battles just to build up a bonus board. But it just seems like it's making excuses like, hey, these guys did it. I didn't really do it. But in Xenoblade 2, one of my favorite scenes in the game was the aforementioned Numa scene with the bridge, which makes me cry every time I mention it. Is the promise between Mithra and Poppy in Chapter 8.
Such a good scene. Fucking phenomenal scene.
Especially Azerda's comments towards Rex in particular. Like, you need to let go. Like, you have to let go. She's made her choice. God, it's hard. But I think a really good conversation that we should really talk about with Xenoblade, and I know I'm probably gonna get smacked in the face for this at some point. But with Xenoblade 3 coming out, do you have any predictions or anything that sort, and especially friend zoning in particular?
Oh god.
I mean, it's happened in 1 with Shulk and Melia. It's happened in 2 with Rex and Mia. It's gonna happen with Noah and like I said, I'm still going through. Yeah, Uni. It's gonna happen.
I don't want that.
You always have the protagonist with the unique blade, friend zoning an animal themed character for somebody else. It might as well be a trope in itself.
I honestly don't want that shit to happen.
Me either. I like Uni.
I love her character too. She looks really good.
Oh my god, I've been my favorite thing that in between like all the waiting for 3 is just everyone being like, oh, I don't want to watch the direct because I don't want like to see any major spoilers. And like my response to any of that shit is just like, nothing's a major spoiler if you just don't put 2 and 2 together. Like if you're just like ignorant and just turn off your brain and just say like, oh cool, pretty area, oh that's probably Melia under the mask, just the ignorance of just like, oh, this looks cool, I have no thoughts on it, it just looks cool. That has been my mindset for the entirety since 3 got announced. So like I don't have any predictions. I don't have any expectations. I don't have any predictions. I am going into this game with the knowledge that it looks cool.
Oh yeah, that's something I'm probably gonna do. Then straight up, people have gotten copies early, so that's why I was just like, yep, destroy everything, destroy the evidence. Go on Twitter and review every word in relation with Xenoblade 3.
I'll make a prediction. In the challenge battles, we'll probably fight a Xenogears character, or probably fight Rex and Shulk.
Or maybe even Elma.
In 2, we fought Elma. I mean, in 3, you might as well fight Shulk and or Rex.
That would be pretty dope, admittedly.
That would be fucking awesome. Just hearing Adam Howland again for the 3rd time.
Bro, no, I deadass tweeted about it. I'm like, I'm waiting for the mandatory Adam Howden character. Like, this is a staple at this point. Like, this motherfucker is in every game. He has to be in 3.
This man has some real talent, man.
He's like fucking Sid in Final Fantasy.
You know the tweet that I made, and it's just me holding the replica Monado when I tagged at Adam Howland. That fucker liked it.
Oh my god, Adam's so fucking. He's such a clown, like in the best way possible. His Twitter account is a fucking mess, but I love it.
He was approving of your use of the Monado win.
The voice actors in general, like some of the best people I've met. Honestly, on fucking God. That's why I'm learning to become one currently. So I'm kind of working on that currently. But yeah, I think one of the biggest issues that Xenoblade has is the lack of merch. Typically, just like, oh man, you wanna.
Everything's in Japan. Everything's in Japan.
It's like literally, you go down the list. You got Final Fantasy, Dragon Quest, Persona, Tales of, Zelda, Fire Emblem, and then you get Xenoblade.
Yeah, honestly.
Like there's been more Final Fantasy VII merchandise than Xenoblade merchandise.
I'm so happy that I bought that fucking Monado, honestly. That I got it for like $40. It's a replica Monado. It's not an actual like sword typically. But I'm glad I got it for really cheap too. It wasn't even that bad.
I can't believe you got that shit for $40. Like I still can't. $40 fucking dollars.
Yeah, $40 for that shit. Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
It was the cheapest. It was super cheap as fuck too. It was really great. Maybe if I can go back there, because maybe I might buy like a Red Queen or even Bakuzan from Kill la Kill. That would be fucking dope. Because I did see Bakuzan there, which I kind of want to get my hands on. But I think it was the only Xenoblade stuff that I did see there. I did see one other Xenoblade cosplayer there, and he happened to cosplay a Shulk because the fucking replica Monado was there, so it was super easy to cosplay a Shulk. He was in the Future Connected outfit, which with the hoodie and everything too, which is fucking dope. I didn't get a photo of him, but I did had a nice talk with him about Xenoblade, which honestly was the greatest thing out of that convention. Honestly, was the Xenoblade stuff. Honestly, but yeah, oh my god. I think the best thing about Xenoblade 1 in particular is with the combat of Xenoblade 1 and Xenoblade 2 for Xenoblade 3. I think the craziest thing that comes with Xenoblade 3 is having the ability to have your entire team with you, which holy shit, man, that's going to be nuts.
That caught me off guard. Admittedly, I was like 6 party members at once.
In JRPGs, you'd have like 3 or 4 party members, but 6. That's great. That's amazing.
7? Because we can recruit the heroes? Like, what the
Well, you know damn well I'm going to have 7 party members and make them really busted as fuck.
Ha ha ha! Gray is never leaving my party.
Yeah, we're going straight down. we're going to Simp Town.
Oh my god, man! I was thinking about it the other night. Because I don't know if either of you have seen it, but I've been like basically documenting my live reactions to like everything 3 related, like the announcement trailer, which was a complete fucking like whim, by the way, because I was fully expecting Breath of the Wild 2 to be announced. And I think the day of the direct, I was trying to like get with some friends, but everybody was busy. So I was like, why not? I'll just watch it by myself and record my reactions and like maybe something funny will happen, right? Had no prior knowledge of 3 being announced, and then it's just all hell broke loose. I started crying. It was an absolute mess in my closet at like 8 p.m. Or no, it was early, wasn't it? It was like, really 10, 11 a.m. Fucking, I'm over here losing my shit. And then after the first direct, I'm just like, all right, well, I kind of have a thing here. Maybe I'll just like record my reactions for like any other trailers that happen to come out. And then the release date trailer, that shit fucked me up because fucking I had woken up that day because I think my because I'm in college right now. My first class started at like 10 a.m. but so I usually wake up at 8 because I commute. I had woken up and my class had gotten canceled.
Yeah,
so I was like, okay.
Canceled. Yeah,
my class. Yeah, so I'm like, all right, I'm gonna just go back to bed. And then I wake up like an hour and a half later. I have like 30 pings on Discord. Like, Lou, Ari, they pushed up the release date. I'm like, what the fuck?
What the fuck? happened to me too. It was ironic because it happened to me too, because I was in class for like communications and shit, and I got a message from my professor, and she was like, "Dude, man, the class got canceled. I got COVID." I come home, and all I see, all my friends are in VC. All of them are in there. I go in there. I see Xenoblade Chronicles 3. All right. It was so perfect too. I joined. I'm like, "What the fuck is happening?" I see Xenoblade 3. Oh!
Just everybody lost their shit. It was.
It was so funny too, because I have a Mithra body pillow. I walk in, I see Xenoblade 3. I'm like, "Yep, I guess who I'm hugging tonight." It was so fucking unexpected, man. It was crazy.
So good though. Like it's so surreal thinking that this game is like just about a week away.
Yeah,
like,
we're getting
we
there.
really waited. We really waited for 7 months for this fucking game, and it's almost here. That's oh my god, that's so surreal to think about. Fucking
8 days left.
8 days left. I am holding the people who got the special edition, because they're gonna have to wait for that shit in the mail, and the digital bitches can just preload that shit and like play at midnight. I'm so envious about that, but just
That's what most digital copies really in general typically.
yeah, no, because I did that for 2. I was in my sophomore year of high school, and I had asked my mom if I could go to school late that day. So I stayed up till like 3-4 in the morning, just like marathoning the first chapter of Xenoblade 2.
Yeah,
Oh
I first played 1 as a rental. I played it on the Wii. I got up before Prison Island, specifically. I got up to there, and I stopped playing. I had to return the copy. Then I played Xenoblade Chronicles X. Played through that. Story, not as, in my personal opinion, not really the best typically. But it was also a rental as well, so I didn't have that much time to play that. But I did finish the game. I did finish it, so I got 100%. Thank God. Thank God I did everything well. But when I bought 2, my friend introduced me to it. She's like, "Hey, Win! Like, I know you're a Xenoblade fan. Did you know that they made a sequel for the game?" Like, what? They made a sequel? And I look at him, and I was like, "Oh, they did make a sequel." So I'm like, "All right, I'll go get this game," and I bought it, and everything changed. And that's why I got a Switch. That's why I got a Switch on the same date. So I can play this fucking game.
I was more of a Xenoblade late bloomer. I didn't start playing Xenoblade 1 until 2020. I mean, that was when I got my Switch. I mean, I knew about Xenoblade because of Smash 4 and Chucka Conroy. I mean, he did a Let's Play on Xenoblade 1, like way back when. He did a Let's Play on Xenoblade 2 recently. But played through 1. Well, because of when I learned more about the Rhyme memes.
Oh.
It's Rhyme time. Like, and then once I got to Amelia, I was like, yeah, I've fallen in love.
Yeah, Amelia. Amelia's a good girl.
And then a year later, I bought Xenoblade 2, and I was like, I heard some bad things about this game, but screw them, I'm gonna play it anyway. It was like, so as soon as I get to like the scene where Poppy, Rex, and Pyro were trying to go on the prison ship, it was like because Pyro was too heavy. It was like I laughed. And then when I saw the Zekinator and Pandoria for the first time, I was like, what the hell is this? This seems like something you see in Kamen Rider. Kamen Rider Cougar or something. It was like, hey, I like this guy. He's a good man in my book. The fucking bringer of chaos, man.
Zeke.
Zeke. We love Zeke in this house. We really do.
We stand Zeke.
We stand Zeke in this house.
Gotta love Zeke. I love his voice actor is absolutely fucking awesome, man. I think the voice actors of Xenoblade 2, they're fucking baller as fuck, man. Like,
yeah, no, 100%.
This guy's baller. This guy's fucking baller, man.
This guy's so chill. Oh my god, fucking So I don't know if you guys know about how Zelda Universes does the Palutena guidance for the DLC characters.
Oh yeah, I saw those videos.
Yeah, no, fucking, I remember, because I know the guy behind it, and he asked me to play Pirate Mithra, and I was like, yeah, sure, of course, fucking yes, please. And somebody tagged Sky and she complimented me on my impression, and I was like, oh my god.
It's so awesome.
I wanted to cry. I was like, oh my god. Oh no, she's such a sweetheart. Like I really just love her energy and just such a great human.
She has that type of energy where you can just like approach her and she's just fucking chill as hell and just like yeah man, let's talk about Xenoblade 2. Yeah man, we'll crack open a cold one and enjoy that shit. Like I went to a convention and I met the voice actor Mercedes from Fire Emblem the Three Houses. I did met her. Dorothy Fawn. Yeah. Yep. I did met her. I met her husband as well, Tonfa. You may know him as Agumon from Digimon, obviously. Yeah. They are so chill. It is fucking phenomenal. I went up with a few of my merch that I had from Mercedes, obviously. I went up with that shit. She was so chill as fuck, man. I have never had that great of experience when it comes to like a voice actor in terms of being super chill, super respectful, and just being all out a good person typically.
Yeah. No, honestly, like I've only met a handful myself. Most recently, back in Anime NYC, back like last year. Oh my god, it's been a year already. I met Amelie, who was a complete sweetheart. She was, oh my god, love her to pieces. Absolute sweetheart of a human. And then I met Alex Lee, an absolute fucking dork. He's such a dork. It was so funny because the person in front of me had asked for an autograph, right? So because Alex was like standing up and down, like taking pictures and then going back to sit down for autographs and like, you know, casually talking. So he was already sitting down. And then he got up to go take a picture with her. The person left. And then he went back to go sit down. And I was like, wait, no, I'm sorry. I don't want to make you sit down because, you know, like I was going to come for a picture. And he was like, no, it's okay. I have to do my toe touches anyway. Motherfucker starts touching his toes. I'm like, what the fuck? Such an awesome human. We chatted about Tokyo Revengers because his Mikey owns my fucking heart. And then we were talking about how season 2 got announced. And I was like, I have to wait so long for the dub because I watched the first season dubbed and I don't think I'll be able to go to sub when season 2 starts airing. He was just a great human, super chill, such a dork. Like the way he acts online is almost like exactly how he acts in real life. And I love people like that. So just, ugh.
Man,
so good.
Fucking I totally want to meet Erica Mendez, the voice actor of Yuka Matsui. I want to meet her terribly.
She sounds so fucking chill.
She's so chill, man. Oh my fucking god. And there's another person who's super fucking awesome. If you don't know him, if you haven't played Team Fortress 2, Nathan Verda, Chili of Destiny. Nathan, obviously he's one of the voice actors. That man is based as fuck. If there's anyone who can make you laugh hard enough to make you spill your guts out, it's him. He can do that. he can do that, man. That man. If it's either him or Jonas Scott, those are the two voice actors I've ever have like seen on camera do some of the dumbest shit, and it is beautiful.
Like oh my god, I love this incoming like wave of voice actors who are like, you know, actual like just genuine nerds. So when you meet them, they're just the same as they are online, and it's so nice.
They're just geeking the fuck out. They're sipping.
Yeah. Oh my god. So fucking good.
I wish I can go to one of those cons and meet some VAs. Like I want to meet like Chris Hackney,
That sounds so chill.
Erica Mendez. Not like in Wynn's case for Ryuko, for her Ayako voice or Bernie voice.
Bernie's great.
Yeah.
I want to meet Erica Harlacher. I mean, I remember like a while ago, like 2 years ago, I sent a tweet like mentioning her in it. She replied to my tweet and liked it too. I was asking her about like her little her autograph streaming or whatnot. I was like, when will the next one be? It was like, oh, this will be at such and such day and all that. And it was like, hey, a celebrity replied to one of my tweets.
My favorite reaction from Erica is when they had a Bernadetta figure that got released for a lot of the figurines and stuff like that. So I tagged her like, yo, Bernie figure when? And she was like, oh shit. Her response was so genuine.
I feel bad for her. She still hasn't gotten Kazuha yet.
I feel so bad.
I haven't gotten Kazuha yet. I haven't gotten them yet.
Oh my fucking god. Her and Bryn April are they're so sweet, man. I don't know how they can handle my brute force shit posting. Either that or Sky, because oh my god, she just handles all the dumbest shit that I can do, and it's so great. I love that. I love the fucking meme that I sent you, and you just said, "Then perish is Mithra." God, that scares me so much.
Oh my god. And perish.
Then perish.
Oh my god, I miss doing Mithra shit. I half wanted to do like a quick fandub of like the very ending of 2, like right before 3 dropped. But I'm kind of lazy. I'm kind of lazy, admittedly. Oh my god!
I saw one of your older tweets, and it was how it feels to be like, it's like how it feels like how I wanted my voice acting career to be like, and it's a picture of Kasumi Yoshizawa from Persona 5, and then the right one is just fucking Mithra from Xenoblade 2.
Because that's exactly it. That's exactly no. When I say, okay, this might get a little like sad TM, but like for a good chunk of my voice acting career, for context, I've been voice acting for 4 years as of July 13th. My 4-year anniversary was not too long ago. I've been doing this for 4 years, and around like the middle-ish, endish of my second year, I got hit with like a bunch of like really bad like I guess like voice hatred. Like I just really hated my voice for the longest time because like I never thought it was feminine. I would typically be cast for my lower register, so like I'm pretty sure that was around like the peak end of like that shit. And like now I'm obviously over it. I fucking love my voice to pieces. And I love that I'm able to have the duality of some days I can be Kasumi Yoshizawa, and then some days I could just be Mithra, and it's just like the duality of it. I just so happy.
Just hearing
I can voice both of my best girls.
Just hearing then perish, and then you're just like you're playing a video game, you're just playing like Payday 2 or some shit, and you hear the cloaker noise, like the and then you just hear like, now go to the forums and cry like the little bitch you are. That would totally fit Mithra. Either way, that would fit her character definitely. She's so smug to the point of where like you can fit any line that insults anyone and just apply that shit to Mithra. Like,
just put her in the Souls community.
Like, give her a scout line, give her a fucking cloaker line, like give her a fucking Yugo line from Yu-Gi-Oh! Arc 5. I don't give a shit. I'll do. Anyway,
if Mithra pulls up in 3, I demand that she say fuck at least once. At least once.
Oh my fucking god. Having her say fuck like Ryuji is the best thing in my fucking life.
Honestly, just under her breath, or maybe it's just like, maybe it is a Ryuji situation, just like, shut the fuck up, like, she needs it. she needs one fuck.
So she needs to pass.
She gets the F-word pass.
It's funny because I was booked for like a fucking voice acting role for like an overview of like for like a theater thing, like a comedy. And it was like okay, we need you to say these words, and I just hear just this long list of just random swears mixed together, and it's just like, okay. Like you can hear me say, ah shit, here we go again, or some of the more deep-throated voices, because I like to deep-throat my voice a lot typically. Just like with voice acting roles and shit like that, I rather do some of the darker stuff, or I could be something like this, or something else. Really, it really depends, really.
And I mean, like you said, you were still like, you know, kind of dipping your feet in, right?
Yeah,
like
I'm still dipping my feet right now currently because I just swapped from engineering to voice acting, so that's really, really big change typically for me. So that's something else. So
you'll learn your voice as you continue to do it. So I wish you all the best.
Thank you, thank you.
Like, I'm not a voice actor or anything, but I can do a good solid snake impression. I mean, well, by the way, Dave Hayter is one of the other voice actors I want to meet. He's a cool guy. He's really good.
We're not doing the clap of his ass cheeks. No, we're not doing that. We're not getting demonetized.
Otacon, where is this Xenoblade?
Oh my fucking god! Like I think the best reaction, because I think like some of the best reactions I've seen so far when it comes to Xenoblade, or like the people that don't play it, they've never experienced it. Like, my cousin recently just finished Xenoblade 1. He absolutely fucking adored it. And I know, Pirate Canvas, he told me his experience about Xenoblade 1, but he's unfortunately not on the podcast today, so we can't really talk about it. But he really loves Xenoblade 1, and he's hoping of getting Xenoblade 2, typically. He hasn't played it yet, but I do know he's looking for a copy right now currently, so that's something else entirely on him, but, hopefully he plays it, and we can talk about it on another day, possibly. But
it's just hard to get a physical copy of Xenoblade 2.
Man, ever since Pirate Mythra got into Smash Bros, the copy of Xenoblade 2 has skyrocketed, man. Like, it's really hard to get a copy, man. Like, I'm grateful of getting a pre-owned copy of Xenoblade 2 because at the time I was on like a travel and there was 3 copies in that area, so I ended up picking one up. I'm just like, yeah, I'll pick one up. Thank God I ended up buying it. But
I unfortunately have 1 and 2 digital, so I'm waiting for the one day that I can just like, yeah, maybe I'll just snatch DE and 2 physically, so I can like set up a little mini shrine for Xenoblade in my room.
Xenoblade 1's currently on sale right fucking now as we speak. It is on sale.
I do not have the money at the moment.
I'll get paid until next Wednesday.
It is on fucking sale, so you get your hands on one, man. I'll bless you for that shit, because I ended up spending more than $80 on my special
Jesus
edition.
Christ. Jesus.
Spent another $100 in Xenoblade 3.
I mean, at least you're gonna get it. Like, there's still so many people that, like, you know, have just defaulted to getting the digital, but at least you're getting the special edition
Or
with
physical,
it. That's
typically,
good.
because the physical, either way, you're getting a copy of it anyway.
Yeah.
And it's the same price typically, so it's like when it comes to like physical copies, I'm more in line with getting one physically than not getting it. Because I'm not a big stickler when it comes to digital games. Like, it's either Steam or it's something else.
Yeah.
I love Steam. Steam's always been my best friend. It's always been my best friend either way. You can't leave me forever. But there are some games that are just like, they never change in price. They're always $60 man.
Xenoblade Chronicles 2.
Like, why is Black Ops 2 still $60?
Same with Mario Tennis Aces and Mario Kart 8.
Breath of the Wild being $60. I will never understand why they never go down in price. Like, I got Persona 5 Royal for $20. I played through that shit. That shit was great. I got that shit for $20. I'm still happy I got that game for $20. It was crazy. Like the Nendo for Joker is cheaper than the fucking amiibo. Never will understand that.
If you think that's ridiculous, look at the prices for the Cloud amiibo, the Corrin amiibo,
Shulk amiibo.
The Shulk amiibo.
I still can't believe there's backward compatibility for that. Like, it's just a skin for Noah, but I'm surprised they've still recognized that.
Yeah, apparently so. I mean, it's the same with Kirby and Smash. He had a amiibo all the way back on Smash 4, and it's still usable in Kirby and the Forgotten Land. I'm
hoping that they do a thing with Xenoblade 3 where if you have like a saved copy of like Xenoblade 1 and 2 in Torna or Torna, you get access.
Waiting for like my 150,000 gold. Fuck out of here. They better fucking do that shit.
If Fire Emblem and Persona could do that same thing, Xenoblade.
No, they have to do it. They did it for DE if you had a copy for 2. No, they're gonna do it for 3. I'm waiting for my money.
What if we get a rare weapon?
That would be.
Fuck that! I want my 150,000 gold.
I want my gold. Get this bitch. I think the best thing when it comes to Xenoblade Bridge is just how much fucking expensive like some of the stuff gets typically. Like the Pirate Mythra figures, the Siren Figma. Man, I haven't purchased that, but I've heard some really good reviews from that figure. That
It
figure
looks
looks
really
really
good.
good. I've heard some strong reviews from that. It's a great figure. And I've already requested for the Good Smile Figment Company. They have a survey for it, but I've already requested Mithra, Senna, and I believe Pyra as well. But you know, I'm hoping they get. I hoping they get a cheaper figure than they got in Japan, because it's like $600 for one of them. It's just like, I'm not spending 1.2 grand on two figures that I really like.
When? Remember the Makoto figure?
Dude, I saw that shit. I saw that shit on my convention, and that shit was $300, and I'm like, I'm not spending $300 on this.
I mean, Makoto's great in all the right places, but $300, no.
Nah, dude, I'd rather spend my money in Persona 5 the animation.
Yeah, I would rather spend money on the dub of Persona 5 the animation than buy that.
I have
The dub's out though.
Yeah, the dub's already out. I have a question for you.
I was like, but the dub's already out.
The dub's already out. I have a question for you. How do you feel about Xenoblade body pillows? in general, how do you feel about the general hordiness of the Xenoblade community?
I'd look, to be fair, I think this was a good shift, right? Because one, I feel like we didn't have a lot of horny, which was warranted. Dundan, if he's 30, I'm 30. But two, you know, we got our women, we got our Mithra Pyra, we got our Bridget, Morag, my fucking wife. Like, we did good. I think two was appealing to the men and the gays, and they succeeded. Three is doing things. Three is doing things that I like.
Three is Senna, please, Senna, please. You know how much I love Senna to death. I love her design. I love the flaming side ponytail. I love her design. Fuck, man, I'll taste right now, but I love Senna half to death. If she's even more cuter in Xenoblade 3, man, oh my fucking god, my heart's
no, there's no doubt. There's no fucking doubt.
Just in general, typically, because I've seen some gamers out there with the fucking Morag body pillow. That shit is glorious.
Oh,
hat or no
Morag,
hat?
my beloved.
Hat or no hat?
Hat or no? Yes. The answer to the question, yes.
That's acceptable.
I think the best thing about the Xenoblade community in general is just how fucking just shitpost worthy some of the people are. It is great. Z it's Z.
Absolutely.
And now Z and Anel are by far some of the greatest shitposters I've seen within the Xenoblade.
Absolute legends.
They're fucking legends. I'll tell you that right now. Didn't Z join our Twitter space?
Yeah, he popped in for a little bit, and then I think he started his own or he joined somebody else's. I think he started his own.
He started his own. That man is a fucking legend.
Fucking god.
That man is a fucking legend, man. He's been banned off of Twitter, like, I think 4 times. That is unprecedented, because I got banned, like, twice off of Twitter. My first account got hacked. My other 2 got fucking suspended. And now I have my original one that came back to me. Because fucking Twitter, man, that's something else.
Twitter confuses me. I mentioned this briefly in the space, but like they gave me spaces and then they took it away from me and then they gave it to me back. But like there was no context on as to what qualifies you to have spaces. So I was really pissed off when they took it away from me because I had already been waiting because I have way too many fucking Twitter accounts. I have like 2 personal ones and then an alt. And out of the 4 accounts that I run, 3 of them had spaces before my main account, which has at least 3K followers, right? Yeah. So I'm like, okay, if it's not a follower thing, like, is it engagement? Because I think my tweets get a little bit of engagement. Like, what qualifications do I have to fit in order to get spaces? Because I've been wanting to host a space, like, just in general for the entirety of this past year. And I only just got it recently. And I'm like, what the fuck? So they gave it to me, right? And I was so excited. I was like, oh my God, because I wanted to do like a Mithra thing, like live on Spaces. And I was like making a graphic. I opened up Photoshop. It was a whole 9 yards. And then the second that I finished the graphic, I went back to Twitter and they were like, nope, you don't have Spaces anymore. So I had to wait a good 3 months before they gave it back to me.
Yeah.
And then that was the special edition fiasco.
Yeah, we suffered. It was me, you, and Mary just going fucking nuts in that fucking Twitter space. I ended up asking like, I think it was one of the artists. I think I could.
Oxen.
Oxen. Yeah. I asked them to make me a fucking meme of Mithra saying "Get the fuck out" from Payday 2 when you have Inspire, you can yell at somebody to revive them instantly. So it's like, get the fuck out. That would be something Mithra would definitely say, typically. It's her character. It's so fucking spicy, considering the fact that she was awoken by Adam, and it's a lot of his problems got shifted onto her, and I think it's a really interesting thing when it comes to blades and their personalities and how they can be influenced by their driver, which I think is super fucking interesting. It kind of reminds me of a little bit of Bleach, a little bit with some of the Zanpakuto in particular, which again, kind of like with Zangetsu in particular, which Zangetsu is a little bit more complicated than some of the others out there. But Ichigo's Hollow kind of is a little bit like has some of the problems that Mithra has a little bit. But that's just from my perspective. Obviously, you can disagree with me on that, but I mean, hey man, Mithra's a great fucking character. She has her own problems, and that's what makes her human. So
Yeah.
that's what makes her even more fucking genuine than some of the other characters that we've seen, just in general, typically, because some of the blades out there in Xenoblade 2 in particular, I kind of am not a big fan of, especially Ursula. I am not a big fan of Ursula, because I spent I think about 3 weeks just on her quest, and it was physical pain.
I hate her quest line.
Her quest line is absolutely fucking terrible. If you want to make her broken, you literally have to grind her out. You need to send her on expeditions. You need to level her up. You need to go back and forth, and it's just like, it's super repetitive.
I think like some of the ones I don't like Electras. Like you have to like, it's the same with like Ursula's kind of. Xenobia's, which are really monster hunting. I like Xenobia's art style. I mean, it was made by the same art guy that did all the designs for the Tales of series. But monster hunting. I mean, they have another game about that made by Capcom. I mean, I just want to go around the world and just
kill shit
and just bullshit around.
I've seen some of the crazy builds that Anel's made, and he's made some pretty fucking spicy builds. It was at the time where the crit healing Mithra build was the most commonly used out of most playthroughs. But that evasion build, I'm a big fan of that build. I've been using that build for when I went back to Xenoblade 2. I tried that out, and oh my god, it shreds. Like, the moment you get hit once, you're like, alright, I'm just gonna matrix dodge everything and just take it.
Or side overload.
So anyways, speaking of which, we're getting close to the end of the podcast, so if you have any other questions, if any other topics, we can discuss about that, actually.
I feel like I've been talking too much.
It's perfectly fine. I mean, you're our first guest. I mean, what's not to love? I mean, you could ask whatever questions and we can discuss about it. I mean, that's what the fun is.
I don't know, man. I love this game. Love this community.
I think this is by far one of my personal favorite communities of all time, typically, when it comes to Xenoblade. Because I've been in some really nasty communities, just in general, typically. Fandoms are really weird. They're really weird space, typically. So when you're again, I've sort of talked about this a little bit, but one of the communities in particular, I'm not naming names, but one of the particular communities in particular has a really bad history, had a really bad track of just feeling really obnoxious. Of course, I already know about the Bleach thing with Orihime and Rukia. I've known about that for quite a while.
Ichihime has been a main ship in battle for.
It's been bad.
For about 20 years now.
It's really bad. But Xenoblade has been overall really, really positive for me. There hasn't been really any bad situations that I've been in with a Xenoblade fan in general, typically. Like, Sky's nice, you're nice, like, everyone else just fucking positive. There's nothing wrong with it.
I think you hear about so many asshole people, but, like, in general, when you interact with the community, you never actually find those people. And it's usually the people that aren't even, like, I don't want to use this term because I feel like that's, like, not right. But, like, actual Xenoblade fans, i.e., like, people who've played the games and, like, understand the plot and, you know, the characters, et cetera, like, you really only see, like, the negative aspects of the fandom, quote unquote, from people who either just haven't bothered to, I don't know, give 2 a try, or, like, you know, just shit on it because, you know, oh my god, it's anime, or, like, you know, they're the comparison wars. Like, you don't see that from a majority of the fandom because we're all collectively here with a similar mutual love for this series that, like, we don't have it in our hearts to hate on each other because we all collectively are here for this series. We love this series. We love its characters. And, you know, like, what is the point of spreading that negativity that, like, only people who aren't really a part of our community are doing?
And I can honestly add that because toxic positivity is one of my biggest hates when it comes to fandoms in general, typically. But I love the positivity from the Xenoblade community because they just don't enforce it. They just enjoy what they want to fucking do, and that's why I love the Xenoblade community. They just never enforce it. They just like, okay, you're here to talk about Xenoblade? All right, crack open a cold one with the boys. Either way, you're getting something out of it. It's just the conversations that you have they're just amazing. They're just really chill. There's nothing wrong with it.
It's always good to have a healthy conversation with someone that you have the same interests in, instead of just saying something out of your ass and just hoping for the best.
Yeah, and I can personally agree with that, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think we're getting close to the bit of the end of the podcast for today, actually. Thank you very much for joining me on my fucking brain rot of Xenoblade. And obviously, this is the first time we've ever had a guest on the Crow's Nest podcast. We've been debating whether or not what person we should bring in. So it was really hard to find someone who had the personal time to come on here and have a chat with us and obviously interview with us, which is absolutely fucking fantastic. I think it's a really great opportunity.
Thank you for inviting me. This was super fun.
Absolutely. We can talk more about this, more about games and shit. Maybe offline at some point. Maybe.
Yeah, of course.
Like, if anything, like, I'll be buying Cassiato Protocol within December, hopefully, because, you know, that game, creators of Dead Space, they give so much fucking love, and it looks fucking phenomenal. Looks great. I might stream it at one point, maybe. I don't know. It's something else. But anyways, yeah, we're getting to that closing point. So feel free to put in your social media, and I'll just send it through. Obviously to Pirate. Obviously, I'm Win. I have 2 YouTube channels. Obviously, my first channel is just me posting dumbass shit on my channel, and then we have the Everybody Boys group, which is my film group. Animation, voice acting, stuff like that typically goes on there every once in a while. I haven't really posted anything on there as of now because I've just been generally busy working on voice acting in general, but I'm getting there. I'm really getting there. But if anything, I'll be doing more game reviews, maybe. If anything, Cassiato Protocol and Xenoblade 3. Those are the 2 biggest ones I want to do so badly. Can't wait for December. That's going to be a shit show. It's going to be one hell of a shit show. But Wayne, what about you, man?
Well, I have a couple of social medias. I got my Twitter at Wayne at Awaken Ryuzaki. I plan on making another account for my streaming services. Well, my streaming account is Twitch, Wayne Hendrix 11, by the way. I also have my YouTube channel, which I put download my VODs and whatnot onto, called Shibuya Productions, which is in line to like a former server I owned. But yeah, like for me, I usually stream like classic JRPGs, over underrated games, and just talk about memes, trading card games, anime, and gaming, or maybe wrestling if I'm not allowed to do that.
I mean, if it's not graphic, I mean, you're personally fine with that.
But yeah, you'll probably won't see me on Twitter as much since I've been taking a hiatus from the server, from the place. But when I was on, I used to make like memes and whatnot. Like I'm gonna get better at my memes. I might be like the same boat as Z in this fandom. I want to be like him or them. Just post like random memes for Xenoblade. Is like now it's Ryan time and hey, Otacon, what is this? And all that.
Or even better,
want to hear me?
Just buy a mocap suit for 23,000 like Russian bastard did. That man's a legend. And yeah, what about you?
I don't have nearly as much to plug. You can find me on Twitter at Luucarii to use 3 eyes. I'm still waiting for my proper handle. Person who runs the at Luucarii account, I'm coming for you. Find me on YouTube where I do comic dubs, just voice acting shit. You can find some of my Genshin stuff, Luucarii, to use 2 eyes, because I actually could get my handle. And besides that, my Twitter, I'm either talking about voice acting, I'm talking about whatever fictional male I am simping for on main, or I'm just nerding out about Xenoblade. So feel free to join the journey. It's always something new every day.
You sipping on main is by far the best shit I've seen.
Look, I'm gonna lose my mind when Gray joins the party. I'm going to fucking lose my mind. Like, I'm mentally preparing it. I'm ready. I'm setting myself up for the screenshots. Like, no, like, I'm ready. That man is never leaving my party. I'm ready.
Lucario's gonna have a Gray showcase video, but in the background, just sipping over.
I just imagine just like you're streaming one day and it's just like, oh, you're going to the screenshots. Oh shit! Why is there pictures of his ass on screen?
I can see the title now. It's like, oh, Xenoblade 3, Gray. That's the title.
Yeah.
Ari Sims for Gray for 3 hours.
Admittedly, I want to make like a fucking video when Gray joins the party. Like, I don't know if I'm gonna do it during my playthrough or like after I finish it for the first time, but like I have plans to just embody my simpage into one video about Gray, and like probably one on Tyon, maybe one on Noah, who knows, but I have plans.
Well, anyways, I think that's be a great way to end the podcast for today, actually.
God. Oh my god.
Well, anyways, take care, y'all. Have a very fucking baller day.
Peace out, y'all.